The Champion of Champions tournament brings together 16 of the world's very best players, all of whom have qualified through success in ranking events. World champions, from the senior title holder to the current champion. Tour title holders and the defending champion are amongst the lineup. There is no denying the quality of players in this tournament, and it's evident in Group 4. Two legends of the game have emerged to contest the playoff. Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins have triumphed over Stuart Bingham and Ryan Day respectively, and now face each other to determine the winner of this group. It's a mouth-watering clash played over the best of 11 frames. The winner will take on the defending champion Shaun Murphy in the semi-finals. These two have clashed a remarkable 60 times in their careers. O'Sullivan just holding the advantage, but there's not much to separate these two from world rankings to tournaments won. Another chapter about to be written in their rivalry that stretches back to 1992. Surprisingly, it was a series of mistakes that decided the opening frame. O'Sullivan came out on top.
22 on the first run.
A miss by Higgins gave O'Sullivan another opportunity in the second to allow the Englishman to double his lead. But Higgins came back in the third to finally register on the scoreboard. This is now the fourth. Commentary from David Hendon and Stephen Hendry.
Rather be playing a safety shot there, forced to take it on. He was pretty close. Unfortunately for John, he's left Ronnie a couple of options. This first red at the bottom of the pack will open everything up. This could be a deciding shot in the frame right here. If this goes right, lands on the black. Wow. It was only the side on the white that kept Ronnie with position on the black ball. Let's see when it hit the cushion, the right hand side, brought it down the table. Made that shot look very easy.
8. Nine.
Well, you kind of already fear the worst for Higgins here.
14.
Guess though he just has to focus here in his chair because things can happen. Anyone can miss, and got to be prepared if he is to come back here.
$21. 22. 29. 30.
Well, I just struck that to perfection, really. The action that was on the cue ball was just a joy to watch.
38.
You watch the cue ball here. Almost minimum effort. Almost like he was playing with a light white there.
.45. .46. .51.
Well, a shake of the head from O'Sullivan. Suddenly this is slightly awkward. Stretching on this as well. He's going to have to get the extension on. Well, cleans the whistle.
52.
Really with it for the first frame and a half. At the moment, he's prowling around the table. You can see in every shot he's given it 100% thought and attention.
59.
Yeah, well,
Ronnie
he
O'Sullivan.
was going well, but
59.
just ran out of position. And he's annoyed. I think he's got such respect for Higgins. Not only, of course, does he want to beat him, but he wants to play well in doing so. 59 the break, plenty still on.
Well, this is so much tougher than it perhaps looks on the screen. Such an acute angle. Brilliant shot. Play that with slow drag. That was class.
Well, he's one of the best there's ever been at clearing up from this sort of situation. I mentioned the decider in the Masters in the World Final last season against Mark Williams in that final session. He made all sorts of miraculous clearances to make the match a lot closer.
7.
And this is not a straightforward shot to play, the way those three reds are in a straight line. Well, it's not as played, but at least he's got a pot.
12. .13. .20.
Nice bit of choice. Two reds, both very tough. Watch how still John's head is when he plays this shot. Never moved. That's the secret to those shots.
21.
Tighten the cushion. What a steal this would be.
28. Yeah. 29.
There's a chance. Oh, he's landed pretty straight in the blue. I was going to say if he could get close to this red and to the left of the pink spot, he might choose to play for the green. Because a half ball angle in the green would give him the choice of either to move in the red away from that right cushion or just dropping in behind it.
$34. $35.
Well, he's played for the green. He's further away from it than he would have liked. But there is room to drop in, put that cue ball on that right cushion, leave the red to the opposite middle. Oh, he's just landed short, but it's possibly still available to this left
38.
corner pocket. Well, we'll know if it's in before John does. And it's there, right in the middle. What an effort this is.
I just don't think there's anyone better in the current game at dishing up under pressure than John Higgins. Done it so many times on big occasions.
43.
Yeah, Ronnie took on that double, didn't he, at the end of his break, thinking it was pretty much a shot to nothing. The opening red into the left middle was superb, and what a clearance this has been. Just this shot with extension, it never feels like your own cue when you put the extension on.
45.
That's why he's just overhit it slightly. You just don't get the same feel.
$48.
Needs all 4 remaining colours.
$52.
Wow,
The setup, David, for a tremendous second session.
Yeah, and if he does now win this frame, as seems likely, he's got to be so happy with 2-2 because he was floundering a little early on. A couple of glaring errors let O'Sullivan in.
57.
Pink and black still needed.
$63.
No, it doesn't get much better than this.
It's another brilliant clearance from John Higgins. And this match is living up to the hype. Ronnie O'Sullivan made the early running, winning the first 2 frames, but Higgins has roared back with a great clearance there. So they go to the interval, all square. Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins level at 2 frames apiece.
Thank you. Frame 7. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Welcome back to Coventry and the deciding match in Group 4. Higgins against O'Sullivan. It's a match that is living up to expectations. Higgins took the 5th frame, with O'Sullivan coming back in the 6th. All level as we go into the 7th. Commentary from Neil Folds and Phil Yates.
What a day it's been, by the way, a veritable century break fest. We've seen 7 centuries today. Now, you should always compare like with like, so in snooker, one table invitational tournament. Let's talk about the Masters. The first 4 years of the Masters, 1975 to 1978, there wasn't one single century in any of those tournaments. Today, we've seen 7.
The red has not gone to safety. There's a gap between the brown and of course the green. It can get through.
One.
Well, these tables have been very responsive, and shots like this, you've really got to judge them perfectly. Otherwise we'll just race on and on. And Ronnie has landed it very nicely this time. It's a great shot to finish on the top red.
5.
That opens up a number of options.
Six. $13. 14.
'That's excellent. Little flick from the first red.
21.
Finish on nothing there. Certainty to be on a couple of options. Now all of a sudden you feel the
22.
match could be swinging again. John having won 3 frames in a row. Ronnie with a century and now in first here. Never going to be much between these two.
29.
So if you can grasp the advantage back, you have to take it.
30.
Over the years, certain matches between the game's leading exponents sometimes haven't lived up to expectations. That's just the way it is. But this match most certainly is living up to expectations.
Okay.
The two old adversaries, the
38.
two gladiators with so much silverware, butting heads and providing great entertainment.
$45. 46.
Just a question of what goes here. There's reds that go to either middle pocket. So he wants to finish low on the bunch from here. Yep, I think he's looking at the red to the left middle. Just wants to land in behind it nicely.
$53.
And he'll go into the bunch and potting it as well.
54.
Well, that's okay, but it's not inch perfect on the pink. Didn't quite work out as he thought. Well, this is a big shot. No recovery blue. He's always been brilliant at that shot. When he first turned professional, he's knocking those in for fun. He's still got it.
59. 60.
What a weapon that is to have in the armoury. As Neil said, it's always been there. And even now, you can rely on him.
67.
Just dig in the blue.
68. $73. 74. $81. 82.
Well, he had back-to-back centuries against Stuart Bingham. They could have another
89.
brace here, along with the one from earlier.
90.
A little nudge on the right-hand red.
$97.
Played it brilliantly, didn't he? Didn't drop it in or anything. Oh, magic. This is absolute magic. This match is just getting better and better.
106.
You have to say that O'Sullivan is scoring as heavily at the moment as he's ever done in his career.
There's no deterioration in his game whatsoever.
110.
His attitude is perhaps better than it was in his 20s and 30s.
112.
These are the golden days for O'Sullivan. Not the golden years.
115. 119.
1 year after Jack Nicklaus had taken Augusta National
124.
apart, Bobby Jones said to him, "Mr. Nicklaus, you play a game to which I am not
130.
accustomed." The same phrase applies here.
137.
Genius at
Ronnie
work,
O'Sullivan.
and genius back in the lead. Back-to-back centuries. The rocket really is firing.
Welcome back to the Ricoh Stadium for the playoff match in Group 4. It's John Higgins against Ronnie O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan in control and at the table facing a tricky red. Commentary from Phil Yates and Neil Foulds.
Well, he played a shot like that actually on a red towards the end of the last frame, just before his century. Not only prodding the red, but just whipping the cue ball round off two cushions. Well, there's a real bounce in his stride at the moment.
8. 9.
He's in the zone. On the back of two centuries. And in amongst them again.
And this is a man who transcends snooker. He's one of
16.
Britain's great sporting treasures.
70.
It takes a lot to win, but he wins in extraordinary style.
24.
And he loves this champion of champions. Before tonight, he'd played 17 matches in this tournament, winning 15 of them. Always gets a little irritated when the referee has to take some time putting the pink in the correct place, when it won't go back on its own
32.
spot. But Brendan Moore is one of the very best, and he wasn't slow, just going about his business.
Just a sign that things could get a bit
39.
tougher after this. Going into the bunch.
40.
There's not a particularly wide target from the black upwards, as you can see. If that's a shot he chooses, you have to play this well. Yeah, he played it pretty well, I thought, but you can always cling to a red. He's really
47.
angry, actually. He's desperate to keep the break going, but he can't do it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
not a bad shot
47.
To end. Still just ruining that last shot. I don't think he played it badly. Just didn't land on one.
Very good white. Helped, though, by the red making contact with the blue.
Well, you can clap all day long, but he's good, but he's not good enough to play that shot. He went for the pot there. He knew the cue ball might come back towards the black end. Guiding the cue ball around the table was part of the shot, I agree, but he went for the pot. It could still be won on either side, and if John won it, it would bring him right back into the match. Ronnie is still going to be very watchful here. He'd be happy for those three reds to stay there. All because he's in front. Oh, this is a real cueing shot. Slightly distracted by something in the audience. Oh, John can get to this red. It's not much fun though. It's a long way away from it. It could go into the red directly beyond it. Well, he cued it supremely well and missed that red.
In the penultimate frame this afternoon against Ryan Day, he knocked in a really good red do or die to a balk pocket and cleared up, then won the decider. That one wasn't quite do or die, but it was pressurised.
He just got the headache of how he's going to possibly win the frame here with those 3 reds all clogging up the bulk end of the table. Quite an unusual set of reds there. You wouldn't see him in that position. It just means that, well, I don't see how he can clear them here. Too many obstacles in his way.
Four.
He's looking at the target from the yellow 1 cushion to go into the reds, and if he does play it, I don't think he'll go into them really firmly. Just might want to just tickle into the reds here. Not quite as played.
6.
Not getting very far, is he here? 2 reds with yellows. Hardly hurting O'Sullivan, that. Still got 1 red to the middle.
John Higgins, 6.
Well, that should be a frame winner.
Ever such a good shot, wasn't it? Didn't really want to be playing it. But he can win it with the reds in open play quite comfortably.
7. Eight.
There's real silence in the audience. They're engrossed in this match. It's a lovely atmosphere. And if you're not enjoying this, then you're not really a snooker fan. It's
30.
been a great occasion. Ronnie O'Sullivan is getting the upper hand,
40.
but you would never say that he's over the line. Just starting to play really well. Could have had 3 centuries in a row. He didn't get into the bunch very well, but he soon after went on to win the frame.
20.
You're right, Neil. It has been a great occasion, and because of the inevitable passage of time, these kind of occasions aren't unlimited. Eventually, they will occur
25.
no more. So while Higgins and O'Sullivan are still playing top-level snooker, just savour it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 25, and the frame.
Higgins concedes, and for the first time since 2-0, Ronnie O'Sullivan has a 2-frame gap. This time it's 5-3.
Welcome back to Coventry for the Group 4 playoff featuring John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan. Higgins, the man under pressure. He needs to take the next 3 frames to make it through. This is now the 9th frame. Commentary from Phil Yates and Neil Folds.
Well, that is not anything like what he meant. He called it much too thick. Really thick, actually. The red has gone further than the cue ball. Well, it could be off again here. And we mentioned the kind of scoring power that he's shown all day. Not in 5 centuries.
Five centuries in a day. Some of the lower ranked players, and I'm not being unkind here, just truthful, some of the lower ranked players don't make 5 centuries
4
in a season.
Let's name some names, Phil. Come on.
Me.
No, I was being cruel there. No, he's played brilliantly. And look, this game is about one thing. You've got to score when you're in. There's lots of other parts to it, but if you're not doing that bit, all the rest of it is not relevant. You can play all the best safety in the world, but if you don't punish when you get chances, it's no good to you. Ronnie is in a punishing mood.
Nine. 10.
Well, of course, he'd love to. He's working around
50.
getting the black into play. That's what this is all revolving around. I feel it's all leading up to that.
16.
Well, the right-hand red is the one he's on. He may have wanted to go a bit further than he's finished there. I'll see how he works this shot. I think the referee, Brendan Moore, finishes respotting this.
22.
See if he can possibly get the black and the red away from each other here. Well, he played it the safe way and screwed up the table.
23.
It's not the worst outcome.
$27. 28.
There you have it. Within 3 shots, the black's on its spot. There's no reds anywhere near it. And that's why he's such a wonderful player. And a
35.
wonderful break builder. And the next piece
36.
of the jigsaw is to get the bunch open.
And if he does it, the end will be nigh.
It's a very good split. He played that so well. It's all about getting the cue ball to zip into them.
44.
When you think about it, you know, O'Sullivan is the embodiment
46.
of the title of this tournament. He is a champion of champions. That wasn't the best positional shot, but overall tonight he's played beautifully.
Yes, he just finished in between
47.
there, didn't he, on that red, but I feel he is literally one shot away from winning the match, and that is to get nicely on the next red, the point where nothing can stop him. And that could be the shot.
50.
He's worked hard at this break. It's not been simple. Black was completely out of the game. And he's an artist
51.
when it comes to break building.
Applause, but one more question to be answered.
Indeed. Wow. A little rueful smile. He didn't really want to be knocking this pink in because he's got, I think he's got centre ball striking, but it's a more pressurised shot than he ever wanted. This is match ball. Nothing can stop him. This has been a great display from O'Sullivan, you know. John Higgins put him under pressure, 1-3 in a row.
64.
And how well has he responded?
$65.
As he gets older,
68.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, the bar seems to get higher.
$69. $75. 76.
Can the great man make it a 6th-century day? And bear in mind, both of his opponents have been world
83.
champions.
84.
I think John can have no complaints. I don't think he's played all that badly. He's been on the wrong end of sheer weight of scoring.
87. 89. $92.
That green was his 200th attempted pot this evening. He's knocked in 191 of them.
96.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, the crowd have loved this.
107.
It's been a truly amazing battle.
Simply awesome from a rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. Deep into his 40s, he remains a giant of the game. He's into the semi-finals. He's beaten John Higgins by 6 frames to 3.
Confirmation that Ronnie O'Sullivan is through to the semi-finals and will face the defending champion Shaun Murphy for a place in the final of the ManBet X Champion of Champions.